Hey learners, welcome back. Today, on this very special day, we are extremely excited to present you this very informative event with breathtaking challenges. We present you our very special cybersecurity virtual experience program. This month will be full of surprises. We will be conducting training sessions from industry experts. We will be conducting 4 tasks on 4 different topics. This will definitely boost your resume and skill set. With the completion of these 4 tasks, you will be rewarded with an electrifying certificate from the UpgradeMore community. Not only this, we will be conducting lab sessions on also podcasts on exciting topics. Jatin will explain you more about this.
Thank you, Tushar. I would like to start the introduction with a very important question. Do you know that why is Kali Linux so famous? How would you feel if I told you that you will have a superpower of hacking anything with pre-installed custom tool? Cyber Month is a heart-stepping month of crazy events and lab sessions. And the best part is everything is free, from certificates to training, right from industry experts. We present you our very special guest, Mr. Abhishek Bhoir, with his crazy skills in Kali. You can learn a lot of things to gain this superpower. Now, I would like to honor the stage to Mr. Abhishek sir.
Hello everyone. Thank you Tushar and Jatin for this lovely introduction. As my introduction has been done, so let's directly get started with the session. So for today's session, getting started with Kali Linux and basic command. We are going to talk about what is Kali Linux. I am going to tell you what is Kali Linux in this, what is the usage of Kali Linux, Linux file system, and so on. So what is Kali Linux? Kali Linux is a Debian-derived Linux distribution designed for pen testing and many more. It is maintained and funded by Offensive Security. Now you may ask, there are also many other Ubuntu distribution, Debian distribution. So Kali Linux is also one of them. So what is the difference? There is no difference in that. Everything is same. Just that Kali Linux is built for testing purpose. It's not like not Ubuntu is not built for that. Just that all the tools are pre-installed in this, and you don't have to go and manually install everything in a fresh OS. So that's why Kali Linux is mostly preferred by pen tester and security auditors. Usage of Kali Linux. It is a advanced operating system for penetration testing and security auditing. It contains hundreds of tools which are used for various information security tasks such as penetration testing, security research, forensic investigation, malware analysis, reverse engineering, everything. So let's get started with this. So our topic is Linux file system. As you can see it here, this is the file structure of Linux, Kali Linux. So let me show you in my virtual machine, which I have installed my Kali Linux already. Let me log in into this. So this is the fresh image of Kali Linux. If you want to install this, there is a YouTube video uploaded in UpgradeMore channel where you can go and understand how you can install this in your virtual machine. So let's get started. See, this is the Kali Linux GUI, in which in the topmost corner you can find it all the tools that has been categorized by them and various section for information gathering, what kind of tools you can find. You are free to explore all of these tools. We are going to give you information about some of these tools, not everything. So yeah, this is the terminal in which you will mostly spend your whole time doing auditing and security pen testing. So yeah, as you can see it here, make it out. This is the file system of a Kali Linux, in which you can see multiple directories are present. As you can see, I have navigated inside a slash directory, right? This is the root folder. It is a top domain folder out of in which there are multiple folders present in that. So Kali Linux follow this tree-like structure in which root that is slash is at the topmost, and after that all other folders are branches of it. This is how Linux file system works. So there are multiple folders in that, for example, bin, boot, dev, etc., and many more. So let me tell you about them. So bin directory, basically all the utilities like copy, move, remove, so all these tools that are present in the Linux system can be found in the bin directory. For boot directory, all the bootloaders files that are needed to boot this operating system are present in that. So never delete this. And in etc folder, all the configuration of the software that you install, whatever it is, like whatever service it is, it will be present in the etc folder. In home directory, the users that are present on this operating system, all their directories have been created in this home directory. Okay, and there is many more: mount, opt, and proc. So for proc is the process folder out. When we will see in a further session what is the proc folder. Basically, any process that has been created in this operating system, you can find or map that process in this proc folder. Mount directory, in mount directory, whatever devices or share folders or whatever it is you are trying to mount on it, like disk, partition, anything, you can find it in this mount folder by default. And if you are trying to install a third party software, it can be found and installed in a opt folder. Temp directory, it is also a useful directory. It is a all writable directory in which you can keep any folder, but it get deleted after some time. As you reboot your system, all the file present in the temp folder get deleted. In where directory, your backup file, your log files, and everything is present. So on next slide, let's get started with a basic Linux command. So let's get in practical. I don't want to bore you with theory. So who am I is the first command, in which basically it's tell you what user you are logged in. So who am I command is a very, it will help you understand like which user you are currently in a shell in this terminal. And then the another tool, that is pwd, in which it will give you a current location of your directory, in which current directory you are present. Then there is a sudo command. Basically, some kind of some tools that you have installed need elevated permissions. Like it can't be run using a normal user permissions. It need a super user. So As I have came to this point, super user, there are multiple user level in this. Like super user is like an administrator. Normal users are the normal user you are seeing right now in front of you, that is Kali. And there is a service users. Service users doesn't have anything. They are just created for the sake of running a services. And super user is basically an administrator. It can do anything it want. It is the controller of this operating system. So to run some tool which need an elevated permission, for example, root permission, we have to run it using by appending sudo command at the start of it. For example, TCP dump. This is a network packet tool which can help to sniff a packet in a wireless network. As you can see, we are capturing that packet. So there's that. Let's talk about it later. Then the other command is that ifconfig. Ifconfig is get you let you understand the basic idea, like what is your IP address, what is your network configuration, and all your VLAN, which whatever device that are connected and IPs assigned to it, MAC address can be, all the information can be found in ifconfig. Just like Windows, in Windows it is ifconfig, and in Linux it is ifconfig. So let's learn how to navigate inside a file system, right? So to navigate inside a file system, there are multiple commands that we can execute. For example, now as I am in root, let's get inside a Kali folder. As you can see, we are in Kali right now, Kali user folder. So if we want to navigate inside this music directory, the cd command is used to get inside the directory. So if you just do cd and that directory name, then we can get inside that. As at present, there is nothing in this folder, hence you are not able to see anything. As this command that I've run, you have seen like ls-la. So what this command is do is it basically lists out all the files, all the hidden directories of folders or files that are present in a directory can be visible using ls-la. If you want to get outside the directory, you can just do cd dot dot. Now you will be like, "Hey, why use a dot dot?" For dot, you means a parent directory. For double dot, it means you have to go back back of a directory. That's why you use cd dot dot. Get outside the directory. Now, if you want to go in a previous directory that you have been already, but you don't remember which directory, then you can just do cd hyphen, which will get you inside a music directory because it was the last directory we visited. If you want to get inside, let's get outside. And if you want to get inside a folder of a user, then you have to just write cd tilde, which will get you inside a Kali home directory, which is this. So now let's get started with other commands that are copy utility. So copy utility, as it says, copy is just to copy one file into another location or in a same location. So copy, and if let's create a file first. Mm, as you can see, there is a test file here. Let's copy it into some other name, like copy test one. And you can say it, we have copied the same file but with a different name in the same folder. That's how you copy that file. If you want to copy it in some other directory, then you can use the same command, test1 music, and then the file name, or else you can't give any if you don't want to give any file name, like you have to save it with the same name, then you can just directly press the enter, and then you can go and check it out. See that file is present in that. Just like copy, you can move a file or rename a file using a move utility. So as we have seen, there is a test file here. Like we want to rename it to some other thing. We can use move utility to just move it and paste it, move it in the same directory with different name, like this. So it will move that original file and rename it as a test2 file. Okay. If you want to move it to some directory, same as copy utility, you just have to mention the path of the directory, and then it will be moved into that directory. If you want to know about what command and what the flag that command has, there is a manual tool or short. For short, it is called as man tool, man page, which can be helpful if you don't know about it. Like if you do man and copy utility, you can see all the detail of it, all the parameter it takes, and what it does. All the description will be present here. If you want to get outside it, just press Q and you will get outside it. So the another command which I'm going to say is locate. So what this locate command does is it will try to find whatever file you are providing it as an input in the whole Linux system. But the thing is, it will search it based on a file name locate.pdb, which is usually located into where file. This one in this location. So this is the database file. Basically, it caches file for every per minute or per hour. Whatever command you are trying to do, whatever file you are trying to save, it will get stored in this. And when you try to use locate command, it will first go and search it in here. Okay. So this is a very handy command and it will help you save a lot of time. There is one more command which does the same thing, but it works a little different. For example, which. So which, let's take a file here. For example, no, let's take a binary file first. Mm, So which, yep. See, if you see, we what we do is just pasted a command which and zip. What it's trying to do is it is trying to find that zip binary in the whole file system, but it is based on echo path variable. This path variable is the environment variable which is present in the file system, which helps to navigate inside that operating system. So what this which command does is it started looking from one directory to another directory and follow that sequence. But this locate will only search that command in that locate.db. Okay, pd not db. This one. It will try to search that command, whatever file you want to search, whatever binary you want to search, it will search in this locate.db file and try to gain it. If it is not able to find that command, as this is a fresh Linux image, it won't be able to find it as it has not been created. To update, like whatever command we have to do, we have to just like update db. Okay, permission. And it will update all the cache and whatever files that are present on the system and everything. It takes some time. So just move different terminal and I will show you later. So yeah, so as you have seen right now, like you can copy and move a file. If you want to create a file, there's a command used as touch, which will create a file for you. Let's get inside the directory first. This will create a file without any content. But if you want to create a file with content, we can do using is like just based on the command line only, like testing and test 3. And now if you see, it has some kind of data. Okay, if you try to view that, then you can see it has some data. That's how you create a file using command line only. But there is also a GUI option. There are editors present which will help you to write your own content, create a file on the go. Like for example, there is Nano, which is also a command line tool. It will create a file with test4 and it is waiting for your input. Once you add your output and save it, now if you try to view that file, it will paste whatever input was present in that. That's how you create a nano editor. There is also more editor presence, for example vi, vim, and gedit. Before, gedit was supported by Kali Linux, but now it's no more. But if you want to use it, then you can install it using apt tool package. Now if you may so what is apt? It is a tool package, set of tool package which is present in the Debian distribution, which will help you install any tools that you want to install. uh, Only the thing is it should be present inside its own cache store. For example, if you want to install a tool name, let's not take a tool, for example a service. Apt install is a command which can help you install that service. Yes, ftpd. As I said before, some tools need a elevated permission to run there. This is the example of it. So this is how you install a service or whatever your tools you want. And once it is completed, you can start the service basically. So to start the service, there is a service command. Start with sudo service command vsf ppd status. So now currently it is deactivated. That's why it is saying disabled. But if you want to start it, you can start it like that. Just paste start and it will start. Now if you want to check its status, it will be currently running their services, which is a FTP server. Now as we have seen a IP, this is the IP, right? So as we have started an FTP, we can use the FTP client tool, which is already inbuilt in this Linux distribution, which will help you connect to FTP client. Just write the name. And the anonymous login has to be configured first. So as we have a Kali user in this, we can use the same credential to log in inside the FTP directory. But if you guys see, it will just paste all the folder that are present in that home directory. So this is how you can start your FTP service, and you can start or stop any service you want. How you do it? So there is also one more tool which I forgot to mention. There is a find tool, which basically just act like locate and fetch, but it is little better as it doesn't go or doesn't follow a sequence or doesn't follow some kind of file. It basically search the whole system like nooks and cranny, everything, and try to give the result on its best of capability. For example, name. This name is the parameter which which we are providing it, as it is trying to search. What this command is doing, it will try to search a test name, file name with a test in the whole directory. The user bin test is a binary file also. But if you see, okay, test2 is a file which is present in the home directory, and it gave us a location of that. So this is also one tool which will be very helpful in your pen testing approach, and whatever auditing you are trying to do, it is very helpful. So there is also, just like a service tool, there is also a systemctl command which will also help you start a service or stop a service, but it is little bit different that service command. So what's the difference between them? The difference between them is the systemctl will start a service, no doubt, but it will start it permanently. Like even if your system is rebooted or powered off, again it is booted now, it will start the service on the booting process only. But this service, when a service is started with a service command, it will be started on the go, but once you restarted your system, the service will be closed. That's the difference between them. So to start a service permanently, for example, FTP, it's currently running, right? Mm, yeah, this is running. Let's stop it. Detail. Okay, it need password. As you can see, it has started a VS FTPD server. Now this service will by default run every time I restarted a system or rebooted a system. And this is not a secure way to do it, but if you want to start a FTP server on the go, like you don't have to go and start writing a command service and everything, this is the best way. It depends on your work. And if you want to stop that, you just have to do, instead of enable, just disable it, and it will disable that service for you. So that is about Linux services and how to start and stop it. Okay. Now, I have told you about creating a node text file, moving of a text file, copying a text file, but I didn't tell you how to create a directory, right? So if you want to create a directory, there is a command for it, make dir, which basically does basically just its work is to create a directory. That's it. So test, and this will create a test directory in the current folder, as you can see it here. Now, how can you understand whether this directory is a directory or a file? As you can see in the permission section in the start of that file, you can see there is a D, which means it's tell you that this is a directory. But if you see test1, which is a file, we obviously know that, but in the start of that there is a hyphen present in that. It means that this is a file and this is a directory. That's how you can recognize a directory and a file in this. If you want to create a directory inside a directory without going inside it, you can do this. And what it will do is basically it will create a 123 name directory inside a test directory. If you want to list it down, just do test, and you can see there is a 123 directory already present. Instead of typing it again and again and again, this is a handy way to do it. So yeah. There are also other networking commands like route. There is ARP, which is basically, let me show you. So currently this is a ARP table listing. So now you may ask, what is ARP? So ARP table is just the mapping of IP address and its MAC address. In a network, when a system tries to talk to each other, they talk, they can communicate based on a MAC address. So this is a MAC address which is by default not known to each other. To know it, what the system does it will send a ARP broadcast packet first, and then get a MAC address from that system and store it inside its ARP table, which is this. And you can use this ARP to command to list its content and see what is the MAC address of that IP and what is the IP address it is mapped to. There is also a route command which will list all the routing detail of your system, which is currently loaded in that. This is our default gateway, which is our my router's IP basically, and this is the range we have been provided. So if you want to see what kind of processes that are running currently, you can use netstat ANO. It will give you a overview like what are the TCP connection that are open, what are UDP connection that are open. Currently, we don't have anything. As I said, this is a fresh Linux image, but you can see there is a UDP connection open on 68. Okay, so this is how you can see all the connection which are established to your machine or not established to your machine or listening on certain port. For example, if you now started an FTP server, let's go up, and it is started now. And if you do ANO, you can go up and you can see that FTP service is starting right. As you can see, it is a TCP service. So on 21, port 21 is mapped to FTP only. hence it is listening because the service is started and it is ready to take any command you want to throw. To connect to it, we can use FTP client as I've said it before, like that. So to this is one thing. There is also one more tool which just act like Nestat, which is SS, which will list all the processes and all the connection that has been established to you. It's just uh, other command or other tool which can be used instead if you don't have a Nestat present on your system, just in case. So this is how you view all the connection that has been established to you. Now, if you want to view what type of processes that are running on your system, there is a PS command which can be used, yes hyphen for. So don't mind this parameter, but if you want to know, it basically says list down all the processes and all its branches and everything. So once you do it, you can see what binary file which are running that process, its process ID, which process is run by which user. For example, this is a Kali user which is running a Python, and this is a root user running a Getty binary. If you want to close any services that is present in this, you can do it using a kill command. Just here to do kill and write a process ID. This is a process ID section. If you want to see, list it down. This is PID. You have to provide a PID to kill that particular process. Okay. So let's create a process first. For example, we are trying to ping the 100. So what I'm trying to do is I'm pinging myself only 400 times. That hyphen C parameters is to specify how many ping requests we have to give. We have to send basically. So once I does this, it gets started. It is trying to ping my machine, but I will background it. Okay. So this will background the process and it will run continuously till it is reaches 100 point. So now if you try to view your process list, you can see it here. There is a ping command running which process ID is 8570. So to kill it, 8570 hyphen 9, which basically tells him to terminate that process ID, and it will kill that process. Now you, if you go and list it down, you will see there is no command that is running it as, but that command has not totally executed, but we still able to close that process. That's how you list down all the process that have been running. That's how you can kill the processes and create a process. So to now there is also a rm command utility which can help you to delete a file if you want. For example, now we want to delete all this existing file which we don't have any use for. So we can just say test one, two, and delete it. And now if you were try to list it, we can see that file has been deleted. What if we want to delete this test folder? If you go and delete directly, it won't be deleted as it has contained inside in that. For example, there are multiple contains like 123 directly also present in that, so it won't be directly deleted. But if you want to forcefully delete it, you can do this hyphen rf. Basically it will tell them to go and delete that directory no matter what. And now we can see the test directory has been deleted. So there is also something as piping and redirection input and output. So for example, echo is a utility which basically echo whatever you're trying to throw at it on a screen, for example testing, and it will throw you at that. But what if you want to try to add it inside a file? So this is called a redirection, in which we are redirecting our input inside a file which has not been created actually. But yeah, let's create as a file, and we can see test file is created with our testing. So that's how you redirect the input inside a file. And if you want to, there is also a grep tool which can help you to grab whatever out input you want to grab. Basically, for example, cat test file. If you pipe it, basically what this pipe means is like run this command first, and after that, whatever command is there, it will run second after this. So once this command is run, its output is valid. It will try to run the second command inside this command only. For example, grep. What was the output for the testing? So it will grab that testing word inside the test file. So this is also handy if you are doing some kind of source code review, or you are trying to hunt, you know, a credential inside a file system. It will be really helpful for you. Grab command. So hence, as we are done with apt install and stuff, let me tell you there is also one more command which is apt update and apt upgrade. So what is apt update and upgrade? So apt update is used to update its own cache store. As I said before, it is a set of tools which stores all the package that can be installed in this system. Okay, basically it creates a mirror of that package and store it in its local cache. To update that cache, like to keep it up to date, you have to update it regularly. Basically, if you want to, need a new or newest tool that are present outside, so you have to update it. So to update it, we can just do apt update. I won't run this command as it will take some time, but once you click on apt update, as it runs a sudo permission, it will start grabbing all that mirror file and it will start updating its local cache and store it. But and then if you try to search any tool, it will be easily able to find inside that cache store. If you want to and now there is an apt upgrade. So what apt upgrade will do is whatever libraries that are present in an apt update local cache, it will upgrade all those binaries version or package version or software version to the latest one that are available on the internet. Like for example, VSFTPD has a version of 3.0.3, and if there is a release of 3.0.5 version, APT upgrade will upgrade it to 3.0.5 basically. So, but you should be very careful with this because sometime some library clashes with each other and it can crash your VM. So always take a snapshot of your VM, so it you can go and revert back and do analysis like what was wrong, what went wrong basically. So yeah, so if you want to delete a tool or a package that you have installed or service, you can use apt remove. Uh, Now we have installed BSFTPD, right? BSFTPD. Want to remove it? It will ask you whether you want to really remove it, and after some time, you can see it's not present anymore. If you try to see, there is no file, no service present in this because there it has been already been deleted. But there are some residue of it that is present, like there is configuration file and everything. To remove this service totally, there is a purge flag which will remove everything related to that service, every single detail. So yeah, that is all about a basic command. So now let's get back to cron job. As you can see, what is a cron job? Cron job is a scheduler. Basically, it will schedule a job for you on this operating system, and it will run on a particular time set, a particular interval. So if you want to list out your cron tab is a utility which manage this. If you list it out, it doesn't have anything. But if you want to create your own cron job, you can do give it -e and select an editor for it, and you can mention it here. So as you can see, I'm providing star mark in this. What the star mark is that it will run for 0.0000 1 second basically. basically it will run for 1 minute. Star means I'm not providing any value. I don't want to run it on a certain interval. Star means it will run by default on 1 minute. We have to give total 5 stars because there is month, hour, month, year, and everything. That's why 5 star. And whatever file we want to try to run, we can give it here. Now, for example, I want to run test.sh and store its output and output. Okay, this is the command we are trying to give it to them. Like it will run after 1 minute. So let's first. So as you can see, we have already created a cron tab. Sorry for this. As we can see, we have already created a cron tab here, but as it will try to run it, there is no file present in this. Let's create that file first. .sh, in which we will write something. Echo um, in out. So yeah, as a test.file is present here, let's give a permission first because it won't be running because it is only on read permission. Now it has to have an execute permission for that. So let's give permission first. To change a permission of a file, we will use a command chmod, which will grant any permission to any file as a intended user only. Like we are Kali user, so we will grant this permission to this file as a Kali user only. As this file is owned by Kali, so it can grant any permission it wants. So we want to grant it as a execute permission. So let's do that. And we can see now we can execute this file. If you want to remove the permission from it, we can use same command, but -x to basically tell him that to remove execute permission from the test.sh for everyone. Okay, what do I mean by everyone is that this permission will be divided into 3 groups. Okay, so the first group, if you see, read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. This is a 3 fields which are present. So first field is for owner. Okay, second field is for group, and the third field is for everyone. Now, as you can see, Kali is the owner, and the Kali is a group, and other than this, everyone. For example, if another user that is present on this system finds this file, he can try to execute it because it has an execute permission on it. But if he removes that execute permission on everyone, then other than Kali user, no one will be able to access this file. That's how you can manage your permission over files and directory. Okay. So, yeah, I forgot about a PPT. So as I have said, we have already talked about user and privileges. Let's talk about how to create a user first. So user, to create a user, we can do add user command. Basically, it will create a user for you, whatever name you want to provide. Sudo add user. So it will basically go and create a test user with whatever password you want to provide. Yes, yes. And you can see now in home directory, there is a test user present. As I said before, in the start, there were 3 types of user. One is super user, one is service user, and the other one is a normal user. So service user and normal user, what is the difference between them? The difference between them is that a service user is only used for the to running a service purpose. Hence, no shell is needed to get, like no login access is needed for that service account. No home directory is needed for that service account. A normal folder can be created for it. So if you want to create it a service user, then you can also do that user add command. Basically, user add will create a service account for you, and add user will create a normal account for you. That's the difference. Test one. So as you can see, it didn't ask for us like to fill the details or ask for us for any password. Now, if you check the home directory, you won't be able to find a test one user in there. But you can see there that test one user is already been created, which is a service account. So that's how you can create a user using user and add user. If you want to delete this user, you can do that using del user command, and you have to provide a username for that. And you can see it has removed a user. Let's check it once, and you can see there is no more test one user present in the system. That's how you add and delete a user. If you want to change the owner of a file, for example, this is Kali. So I want to change it to root. So I can use ch own command to change the ownership of that file. Root, root. Basically, I want to grant root user permission for this file, and dash dot will need root permission, and we can see it has been changed to root user. Now, if I try to access this, remove this permission first. Now, if you see, everyone doesn't have execute permission, right? But it has a read permission. So we can read the content of that file, okay, but we won't be able to execute that file. It will tell me permission denied, even though I was the one who created that file. Basically, Kali user was the one, but now we won't be able to do that. So that's how you change the permission and change the ownership of a particular file. And as I've told you about this already, services and cron job. So Linux services, there are multiple Linux services present in this Kali system. There is a HTTP service, there is a SSH service, there is SMB service, there is FTP service, which I've already shown you. So we can start and configure any services we want. For cron job, I already demonstrated it that how to create your own cron job, how to delete it, basically schedule your cron job like that. So next topic is important tools. Now these are the tools which will be using as a pen tester in your day-to-day life. For here we have mentioned Nmap and GoBuster Wireshark. So let me show you what is Nmap tool is. Nmap. So this tool is basically a network mapping tool. It will be used to map a IP network, basically to enumerate its ports, its services, what services it is running, and everything. So, for example, let's scan our own IP first. If you can see, we don't have anything. Any ports are open, but let's start a service. Okay, SSH service is not present. Let's install the VSFTPD again. Now our service is starting. Already started. Yeah, it is started. So let's use a network mapper tool to see what ports are open. As you can see, using this tool, we try to enumerate it like what port is open. It is telling us that it is a 21 port number and it is running an FTP server. But what if we want to enumerate its version? Then we will use a hyphen SF flag, which will get you a version of that particular service. So this is the version of that FTP server we have already installed. We know about it. That is the use of an Nmap tool. It will help you in enumerating a network and externally or internally. It is a very helpful tool. It is very handy. Now, as for GoBuster, GoBuster is a tool which will help you to enumerate directories present on a web server. So, if you see any web server out there and you want to know what kind of directories they are hosting on the web server, you can use this GoBuster tool to basically enumerate everything. Like GoBuster won't be present in this system as it is a fresh image. We can use Dirbuster as in place of that. So Dirbuster also does the same thing. It also has a GUI structure. So basically, we have to mention an IP address or web server that we want to try to host, try to enumerate. Files with list of directory file. Here we will specify our own word list. Now, what do you mean by word list? Whatever we are trying to enumerate, we have to tell him that, yeah, take this word list and whatever data that is present in this word list, try to use it on that web server and see whether you are able to find that exact match of that directory. If you are able to, if you are able to, then you can see that that particular directory is present on that web server, and it will give you an initial understanding like what kind of directories that are present on the server, what sensitive data that are present on the server. This will be later taught in the further session which will be held in UpgradeMore for web application pen testing. So be tuned for that. Wireshark. Wireshark is a tool for network sniffing. Basically, it will help you to sniff a network, like what kind of packets that are going inside a network, TCP packets, what kind of data that has been traveling, any sensitive data. It will help you understand that. Hydra is also a tool which is used for brute forcing a login page. uh, it can be used for that brute forcing FTP credential, FTP service. It can also be used for brute forcing SSH. John the Reaper is a tool, is a cracking tool. Basically, it is a very powerful tool and it is very useful. It will help you to crack any hash code that you are able to find on a web server or a network. It will help you to crack it. It also takes a word list, which is basically a word list of a password. Like you might have heard rockyu.txt. If not, rockyu.txt is a dump of a big word list of all the leaked data that is present in that. It is a huge word list, and it will help you to crack any password you want. Uh, Initial saying that the password are too common, or if the password is too difficult, it won't rockyu.txt won't help you. But there might be case. Then social engineering toolkit. Social engineering toolkit is also an awesome tool. It helps in phishing assessment, phishing, OSINT, anything. Now SQL map. SQL map is also a tool that will help you doing an SQL injection automatically. This is an automation tool. You will come to know more about SQL injection in web application attack scenario session. But for now, understand that SQL injection is a vulnerability through which we can basically dump all the database of a particular web server and try to do more stuff in RC, again, an initial cell, anything. So SQL map helps you in that. Yeah, that's it from my end. Hope this session was really helpful to you. If you want to, if you have any doubts, you can ask me right now. If you or else you can connect me on LinkedIn or email ID. I will try to solve it, check your issue or whatever you doubt you have, and try to solve it at my best.
Okay, so I think we have a lot of questions coming from the YouTube live chat.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Abhishek sir, for this beautiful event. And yes, so first of all, this session was the part of our Cyber Month special cybersecurity virtual experience program.
Correct.
So this program will be majorly focused on four tasks for
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks. So this was week one's task, and your tasks will be this for our viewers that your tasks will be directly posted on the Discord server of UpgradeMore community. So you have if you have not joined the YouTube the Discord server of our UpgradeMore community, please join in. Yes, so the links are on the description. And yes, so we have a few questions, and we have also decided that all our questions will be taken on tomorrow's podcast session. So there is an important announcement for our viewers that all your questions will be answered by Mr. Abhishek sir, and we'll have some other questions also. And yes, I think we have a lot of questions from the chat, YouTube chat, and I don't think so it is possible to complete all of that. And since it's a very really long session also, so I would like to request everyone to join in tomorrow's session. And yes, so please join tomorrow's session. And thank you. Connect with Abhishek sir. You can connect with him over LinkedIn. You can email him. Also, do join our WhatsApp group so that you will be keep posted about all those events which are happening in this community. And yes, so thank you everyone for this for staying so long, and I hope everyone will be joining tomorrow's session and tomorrow's podcast session too. So thank you, Abhishek sir.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah. So yes. So if learn more and upgrade more, guys.